If you're personalizing your cold emails with AI and still not getting any responses, this video is going to save you weeks or maybe even months of wasted effort and money. So here's the truth. That is the brutal truth that you probably don't want to hear. Personalization is neither the problem or the solution, right? I've reviewed and created hundreds of cold email campaigns. And every single time that someone tells me their emails aren't working, right? They show me some super hyper complex and personalized message, right? That mentions, a fact off of their LinkedIn profile or a company milestone or a promotion, right? And it still gets ignored, right? So the reason for this is simple, right? You're using personalization as a band-aid for a broken offer, right? Remember, these people, these prospects are still cold traffic. And to be frank, they don't know you, they don't care about you, and they definitely don't care that you spent 30 seconds reading their LinkedIn or that you just put them into a clay table and hit enrich, right? What they do care about, however, is if you can solve a specific problem that they're actively dealing with right now, right? So in this video, I'm going to show you why most personalization is a complete and utter waste of time, what cold traffic actually responds to, and how to build offers that get responses without needing to personalize a message to every single prospect, right? So let's get into it. Now, just to set the record clear and to be clear on one thing, am I saying that personalization will not increase results? No, right? Just so it's clear. What I am saying is that most of you would get 10 times the results if you just focused on the actual bottleneck in your cold outreach system instead of trying the new AI tool on the market. When there's always a new AI tool, there's multiple new AI tools every day, right? So the personalization trap that most people fall into is most people buy the AI tools thinking that it'll fix their response rate. That's the truth. Now, they scrape random data points, recent posts, company news, new job changes, right? All these crazy things that people can get with AI. And the email ends up sounding something like, "Hey, name, I saw you were recently, posting about topic, right?" And it's just a bunch of variables that are very easy to point out. Thought you might be interested in, and then they put in their offer, right? Prospects can smell this from a mile away. It's templated curiosity, not real value, right? Not real problem solving. So you're spending 2 to 3 minutes per email to get a 0.5 or a 1% response rate, right? So why does this not work? And you really have to understand cold traffic for this, right? Cold email is cold traffic, right? Like Facebook ads to people who have never heard of you before, right? They don't have a relationship with you. They don't have trust. They have no context. They just got an email from you. And your personalization doesn't help any of those factors, right? It doesn't build trust. It just proves that you maybe looked at their LinkedIn for 10 seconds or that you spent extra few cents and enriched them with Clay or Databar or Floke or whatever you're using, right? What actually matters is, do they have a problem and can you solve it, right? And also, why should they care about it right now? Right? That's what actually drives responses. So deep ICP knowledge, understanding their pains, their desires, is going to beat surface level personalization every single day of the week, right? Knowing their pain points, what keeps them up at night, right? What metrics they're judged on at their job if they're working there, right? So an example is, instead of saying, "Hey, saw your company is hiring," right? Speak directly to the outcome of what they want from hiring, right? So instead of saying, another example is like, "Congrats on the funding," right? Super like cliche thing, and a lot of people use this. You can actually address the growth challenges that that they're dealing with that comes from getting funding, right? Or your email should really feel like you understand their world, right? Not like you just stalk their profile. It doesn't help in any way, shape, or form. So how do you even build a cold traffic friendly offer, which is really the secret to all of this, right? And it all really starts, and I know this is very boring, right? But it starts with research, right? What do people in this role and industry actually struggle with, right? So talk to your existing clients, right? Read forums, Reddit, check reviews. AI is getting great at doing research, right? If you're able to prompt it correctly. And your offer should address a clear and urgent problem with a tangible outcome, right? So the way that we usually kind of go about it is your front end offer structure should have low friction, high relevance, clear next steps. Those are the main things. So an example of a good versus bad cold traffic offer is basically, I'll put it up on the screen so you can see, right? The comparison, but it's very easy to tell the difference between these, right? Good, right? Versus bad, right? And ask yourself, and feel free to pause the video so you can actually understand, but ask yourself, right? When you're writing your next email, would this email get a response if I removed all of the personalization? Right? If you're running any personalization, ask yourself that question. And if the answer is no, your offer is not the big is the problem, right? So if the answer is no, the offer is the problem, right? Not the personalization. And the good email test is if you swap the name, company, and everything like that, and send it to 10 similar prospects, if it still works, right, you've nailed the relevance, right? The relevance is the key here, right? So when does personalization actually work? Because obviously, like I mentioned in the beginning of the video, personalization is 100% going to increase the effectiveness, but it's often not the thing that can increase it the most, right? It's not the biggest bottleneck. That's usually the offer. But if you have like high value accounts, or if your total addressable market is super small, like 100 people, 1,000 people, like super small numbers, that's gonna make sense when you do account-based marketing, enterprise deals, stuff like that. But for everyone else, which I assume is the people watching this video, focus on relevance and actual traction of your campaign, and then volume, right? Not just personalization, right? So you need to shift from personalization and using that as your coping mechanism of not getting responses to relevance, right? That's the main thing. So stop asking yourself, how do I personalize this? And start asking yourself, does this person have a problem that I solve, right? Segment your list by actual fit, not just data points that you can randomly scrape, and write emails that really speak to the problem, right? Not just the person's LinkedIn activity, right? That's the key. So hopefully that makes sense. We're on a mission to create the highest quality B2B go-to-market content. So if this reframed how you think about cold email, share this with someone who's still maybe stuck in that personalization trap, and I guarantee you they'll thank you for it, right? If you're looking for someone to install a system that actually has data behind it and actually has proven systems behind it into your B2B business, that actually has your best interest in mind, book a call with me below. It's going to be in the description, and we'll see how we can work together. To summarize it, we believe that businesses should own their marketing and not just rent an agency, right? That's charging them $2, $3, $4, $5, $10,000 a month. So instead of you charging us or us charging you monthly management fees or paying us per lead, we build, scale, and optimize a custom outbound system for your company within 90 days and get it to a point where it's generating the type of leads you're looking for, right? So industry, decision maker, all that at the rate that you want. So 10, 20, 30, etc. calls per month, right? All for a one-time investment. So if you're interested in that, click the link below to schedule a meeting with me. Either way, I hope that you gain some sort of value and insight from this video. Thanks for watching.